Matthew's message, August 12, 2014. With loving greetings from all souls at this station, this is Matthew. Several of the numerous readers who are asking about the Ebola outbreak referred to it as the Ebola scare, and rightly so, as scare is one of the reasons the virus was recently released again. When it was developed in a laboratory by Illuminati scientists almost 40 years ago, the intentions were twofold: to create a pandemic and to instill in peoples the fear that accompanies a virulent, contagious disease. We are not minimizing Ebola's severity today by saying that it was indeed then a sickness to dread. It spread rapidly and claimed many lives before it was brought under control, and the outbreak resulted in rampant negativity due to the large death toll, grief, chaos, and fear. Now, healthy persons who contract the disease and receive appropriate treatment can recover, and, just as happens with any serious illness, persons who die had weak immune systems before exposure to Ebola, or their systems became severely stressed by the fatigue of caring for patients. This time around, the Illuminati will not achieve anywhere near the measure of negativity intended, nor did their other relatively recent attempts to devastate Earth's population produce it. You may recall that only a few years ago, SARS, avian flu, swine flu, and its reissue as N1H1, happened in turn, with global publicity about a feared pandemic after the first diagnosis of each disease. And, ever so handily, vaccines were at the ready. The intense publicity and clamoring for vaccinations lasted only briefly, because it became obvious that since only a few deaths occurred, no pandemic had befallen your world. Scientists in the light worker ranks neutralized the viruses in the vaccines that were designed to spread, not prevent those diseases, and all were total failures insofar as achieving their purpose, eliminating billions of humankind whom Henry Kissinger, the peak of the Illuminati, referred to as useless eaters. AIDS, which was developed in laboratories about 5 years after the Ebola virus, has been much more successful in the eyes of the Illuminati. Whereas symptoms are nearly immediate in Ebola and the more recent 4 diseases we mentioned, AIDS, which is spread partly by contact and partly by the so-called treatment for HIV, develops very slowly and is transmitted by apparently healthy individuals. Thus, ever since it was introduced into the population, it has been running its natural course throughout the years. In so doing, it has enabled the millions who succumbed to it and everyone who loved and cared for them to experience choices in their soul contracts. Still, it is logical to wonder why that disease and the deadly Ebola siege, mushroomed out of control, and viruses developed much later for the same purpose didn't. There are 2 reasons. The AIDS and Ebola viruses were fabricated and released before Gaia's free will choice that her human population would not be eliminated en masse by any means whatsoever. In God's granting her request, inspiration was given to lighted souls to doom the Illuminati's plans. And, because there was much less light on the planet and within the populace 30-some years ago, bodies were more vulnerable to disease. Possibly media focus on Ebola is behind the number of emails about other health issues, and we shall address those most frequently questioned. How can we know which symptoms are ascension-related and which aren't? To what extent are GMO foods adversely affecting health? How much are toxins in chemtrails affecting us? What can we do to strengthen immune systems? What causes chronic low energy and fatigue? When will illness of all kinds disappear? In all of those situations, the answer is light, the one-size-fits-all, and we happily offer information that can be helpful in absorbing light. Always the purpose of our messages has been to offer enlightenment, guidance, and encouragement during these transformative phases that the planet and all of her residents are going through. And especially in the prevailing vibrations, where good gets better and bad gets worse, proper care of yourselves in mind, body, and spirit is vital. Sound health makes it easier for messages from the soul to reach the consciousness, and your souls are telling you to look beyond the illusion, to open your minds and hearts to the reality of who you are. This is what ascension is all about. Now then, increasingly high energy levels on Earth are producing a variety of physical, mental, or emotional anomalies such as achiness, mood swings, urgency to act upon impulses, nervousness, confusion, fatigue, forgetfulness, chest congestion, depression, nausea, rash, heartburn, constipation, diarrhea, or general weakness. If one system of a body is weaker, or less fortified, than the others, that system is susceptible to whatever unsettling condition is most closely related. When those sensations or conditions are due to the heightened vibrations changing cellular structure from carbon-based to crystalline, healthy individuals quickly adjust and symptoms disappear until the next energy surge, which is followed by another rapid adjustment, and so on. And the more light in a body, the less noticeable the effects are. Be mindful that the symptoms associated with ascension also can be indications of a developing health issue. If what you are experiencing persists or worsens, please consult healthcare specialists, preferably those you call holistic or alternative, who know that prescription drugs can exacerbate a condition whereas natural ingredients in proper doses have ameliorative effects. There is another important factor here. To balance other lifetimes or complete unfinished karmic lessons, some souls choose a severe illness, chronic debilitating disease, deep depression, or aberrant mental functioning. In such cases, even the most proficient medical specialists cannot successfully treat the condition, and neither can energy workers. This doesn't mean that the love-light energy the workers channel cannot reach ailing persons. It is that the soul is not permitting activation of their body's self-healing mechanisms. Everyone can send love light to anyone, to people worldwide and to Earth herself, and the energy streamers reach the intended destinations because there's no separation one from another in the universal consciousness. That consciousness is the oneness of all. And never will a physical, mental or emotional condition delay or deter personal ascension of an individual who lives in accordance with soul contract choices. Moving on now. Except for grain that is designed for one crop only, this is based in greed and is negativity-laden. Genetically modified foods are widely considered to be much more harmful than they actually are. Repeated publicity about any situation results in widespread belief, and whatever individuals believe is their reality. Therefore, the belief that GMO foods are harmful produces whatever ill effects consumers attribute to them, but it is the chemicals in processed foods, fertilizers, herbicides and pharmaceuticals, and the steroids and antibiotics fed to animals in the food chain that are hazardous to your health. The most light-filled foods are fruit and vegetables, and if the cost is affordable, eat organically grown produce. Choose meat from animals certified to be free of additives, and seafood naturally grown or properly cultivated. If costs are prohibitive, please do not have negative thoughts about what you are eating instead. In diet, as in all other issues, positive thoughts are powerful, and so is the light and gratitude. Feel thankful for your food, ask that it serve your highest good, and believe that it is. Eventually your soil, air and water will be pure again, and food's lost nutrients will be restored. Body's crystalline cellular structure will thrive on fruits, vegetables, nuts and grains. Meat and seafood no longer will be palatable. Food allergies will disappear, and so will today's prolific chemicals. Although toxins from all sources adversely affect health, body's self-healing mechanisms resist or reduce the most harmful effects when immune systems function optimally. Light is essential to maintain that degree of immunity, and the best way to absorb light is positive thoughts and feelings. In that respect, please remember and feel grateful that crews in spacecraft are using their technologies to neutralize or reduce as much as possible the toxins in chemtrails, radioactive elements, and all other pollutants in your earth, skies and waters. Light absorption comes more naturally to persons whose lifestyle is balanced. Along with heeding recommendations of your healthcare specialists and nutritionists, these additional suggestions will assist in acquiring or regaining balance. Spend as much time as you can in tranquil solitude and enjoying nature. Nurture your talents and allow artistic expressions to flow. Be kind to all persons and animals, and react calmly to unpleasant surprises and confrontations. Choose light-hearted reading and other entertainment, and listen to melodious music. Smile and laugh often. Monatomic Gold, perhaps best known for enhancing brain function and spiritual clarity, also strengthens immune systems. Chronically low energy and fatigue is not ascension-related insofar as indicating whether a person is living in godly ways. It does mean, however, that the body is seriously light deficient. The lack may stem from one or more undiagnosed health conditions, perhaps the onset of an illness or debilitating disease, metabolic or hormonal imbalance, dehydration or severe food allergies. Intense worrying can keep energy levels low. Prolonged exposure to emissions from computers, TVs and cell phones. Chemicals and prescription drugs. A diet lacking in nutritious foods. And effects of pollutants are other possibilities. Any one of more of those potential reasons for fatigue and low energy may be in addition to, or more likely, caused by emotions bereft of light. Whether deeply suppressed or vehemently expressed, feelings such as fear, anger, resentment, guilt, remorse, bitterness, and jealousy drain energy. And a common drain is unbalanced relationships. The low-energy person's emotional system is dominantly feminine and the other's dominantly masculine. This has nothing whatsoever to do with gender, only with the energy makeup of the person, and the unbalanced relationship can be between lifetime partners, siblings, parent and child, employer and employee, neighbors, friends, business co-owners, teammates, two individuals in any relationship that entails frequent close contact. Keeping in mind that energy is light and light is the body's life force, the person with masculine energy is draining the very life of the person whose energy is feminine. When such an arrangement is karmic, rarely is it lifelong. The lesson is complete when the fatigued individual takes steps to remedy the relationship or leaves it. If that person does neither and things continue as they were, your expression, he, or she, will be the death of me, wouldn't be far from the truth. Some soul contracts include a parting of the ways so that both individuals can experience life lessons with other people. This often pertains to partners who have children. All in the family chose to gain the learning offered by the parents' lopsided relationship. Other contracts call for both individuals to acknowledge the need to improve their relationship and the desire to make appropriate changes to achieve that. However, because no one knows what is in her or his contract, the soul gives strong messages that can be likened to enormous arrows pointing in the direction of chosen experiencing. But free will reigns supreme and, just as in all other situations, persons in imbalanced relationships have the choice to ignore the soul's guidance. When they do, other lifetimes will offer more opportunities to look and learn. Illness across the board isn't going to disappear until the population has absorbed enough light to believe that it can be disease-free. Belief creates the reality. This pertains as well to rejuvenating faulty organs and growing missing limbs. Regeneration and restoration won't happen in one fell swoop because those processes also require belief. People who unquestioningly believe they can recover from paralysis or their heart will function perfectly without a pacemaker, for example, will manage those accomplishments sooner than individuals whose belief wavers, and much sooner than those who doubt they have any capability in those respects. It's a matter of how much light has permeated mind, body and spirit. And at this moment, most in your world don't think that something as magical as replacing dentures with actual new teeth is even a possibility. Someday everyone in your world will know not only how magnificently designed your bodies are, but what magnificently powerful souls you are. Beloved sisters and brothers, we are eager to see you discover your innate knowledge and abilities and take your rightful place in our universal family as the multidimensional souls you are. Love and peace. Channeled by Suzanne Ward. www.matthewbooks.com